Okay, I think I just might have done something. And also I need to close this. I think I just might have done something. Whoa. Okay. I may have just got chat notifications working for both. Both platforms. So if I did that, then good. Okay. It's been hot here, but hopefully the air conditioner isn't too loud. Not sure about this lighting. Alright, bit disorganized. It's been a big day. And also just randomly decided to see if I could fix the chat message issue, and I think I may have fixed it because, well, sort of fixed. It's a little clunky, but I used to have Chatty making noises for YouTube messages. Didn't work for, sorry, other way around, for Twitch messages. Didn't work for YouTube, and then I just read something from somebody who was thinking with portals. I can get Restream to send the YouTube messages to Twitch, and then Chatty will make its noise. So hopefully that'll put an end to missing messages, which I hate. So yeah, might get into it then. A bit earlier than usual here, but actually just closer to starting on time because I think I really need to change the notification time. I'm just thinking about whether to leave the light on. Nah, I've had enough light. It's not daytime anymore. I'll be right back. Where do I want to go here? I'll just put this over here. That's easier than turning something off or on. Probably should have muted as well at that point, but hey, oh well. On the way to the light switch, I went past a bucket of seed potatoes. Well, they're just potatoes, but they were a little too small or a bit green, not suitable for eating, so get them as seed potatoes. I really need to look up how to store them properly, though, because then I can store them properly. Righto, let's see. This list is maybe a little bit useful. Problem with the way things fill up in title bars is then how you're supposed to grab the title bars. Yeah, so let me see. We've got, basically I've been making the UI for the routine graph, and move this all over here. Is this open right now? It should be. Where'd it go? Or does it not work when it's minimized? There we go. Here, so this this kind of thing that I've been working on, and that is now covering up that thing. I probably should get a Unity editor thing there, because that doesn't show up quite so well. Basically, I've been working on all the different types of nodes for that thing. Different types of nodes to represent that graph, and I might just jump right into that. And I'll actually start play mode because it'll take a while to do that. And I just kicked the magnifier open. Right. So that's what that list over here is about. Find that again. There we go. So basically what I've got there at the moment is a start node. And so on. I will just add Unity here. Go for a window capture. Right now it seems to be trying to capture the reloading message. That looks more like it. Okay, cool. And if I just put that probably there, and just hide that one, then I can make this nice and big. So we can actually see what's there. And why don't I move this over here? I probably should make a new scene for this. But oh well, I'll fix it up later. Cool, so it's in play mode, it's playing actually, so that's nice. And I'm going to need to just I need to resize that. So let me just modify the transform. Size. Probably do some cropping or something, but if I just like increase one of these sizes by a bit. That'll do for now. I'm going to have to mess with that. Anyway. Let's make myself a bit bigger. Yeah, so here we go. I've got these things. These are the examples up the top, and that's kind of my initial early prototype one before I'd got any images. But essentially, there should only be one start node, and then we can go to an action, and then we've got like a decision node here, and these plug into here, and we could have that. I haven't got any way yet to create new nodes here, but essentially we could say, oh yeah, if you detect a thing, then do this, and then check for a thing again. These should automatically loop back around to the start without having to actually plug them in there, because you can't plug stuff into the start. And that's where it's up to. And so I've basically done start node, an action node, which is that one that says walk on it there. I just maybe move that across here. There we go. So there's a start node. There's the action node. This is a simple decision node. So done that. So now I need label and go to. Now start is a label node, but it's a special one that doesn't have any connection at the start of it. So I'm just going to create that label node. And I'll start with a start node. Just duplicate that one. There, and do I want to go in development? Actually, I'm going to try and just stick with here. Okay, so I've duplicated that start node. I'm going to name it label node. Go and just get the text on that changed. Oh, I'll just disconnect it from the prefab. Make it into its own prefab. And also just move it so it's separate. I can probably get rid of that now or soon. Does it have any overrides? No overrides yet, so I've already got a prefab for that, so I'll just delete that one. Don't need it anymore. Okay, so I've got my label node here. I'll just make that not say start. Let's just say it's like label number 1 or something, maybe A. Not sure how I'll label those. Now, I can't actually see that text. There we go, because of the text icon, which is a little weird. What did I just grab? Oh yeah, I see. Just let that be a bit taller. That seems fine. Okay, so we've got our label node here. It's got an output connector, and it's going to need an input connector, so I'll just grab this one from the decision node here. That input target. I did Control C, but for some reason I'm not trusting that right now. I need to paste as child. Where's paste? Paste as child. There we go. Okay, so then we'll just shift that across a bit to here. Also, I can mess around with this later and get it perfect. For now, none of this art is even final. Yeah, the connector position for the start node should be fine. That's probably all I need to do. I'm kind of getting the visuals for this, and I haven't written any code for them yet. Other than the code that allows them to be plugged in together, but it doesn't actually do anything in the background either. So I guess that's the label node. That should all work. Why have I got a connector there? Where's my connection manager? What are you doing? This is connecting from a graph node to an output connector, which I have deleted. So I think I better delete that as well. Okay, so that should be label node working. I'll hit play on here just to check. And then a go-to node has its own art. And then there's the threshold decision, which is like a decision node with a settable threshold that I might not include in my initial implementation. I might tackle that after I've got some code to back this. I'm dropping some frames here. 1%. That's probably not too bad. I don't live at the height of civilization here. Just realized I didn't really set a thing here. I don't know if that's audible. Seems to be, but maybe not if it's over here. It's not registering in audio. Let's go with this. Aha! Hello, the cowardly code. I fixed my message noise problem. Now I have a sound, so I knew there was a message. This is wonderful. Welcome. Oh, I should have made my code here create a another one, a label node. I remember your icon, so there you are. And was it a week ago or a different amount of time? But yes, I remember you were quite curious to ask a bunch of questions. Ah, Newman, yes. Well, there we go. See, I missed your messages because I wasn't getting a sound. Now you can hear a sound. I will at some point fix that up when if it gets annoying having that on stream, I'll change it so the sound only goes here. But I haven't got that set up yet. And I'm doing all right. I've had a very big day. I'm going to switch over to development here because I'm actually doing something with some code. Yeah, I've had a big day, so I decided to do my stream a bit earlier than I have been lately, so I can get an early night. But yeah, overall doing reasonably well. And how about yourself? I forget what time offset you are, and so whether it is evening, morning, or something else for you. Okay. Oh yeah, I need to put the label node prefab in there. This is just a bit of code that's just creating some example nodes to make sure that I've actually got prefabs and the prefabs are working properly. And so I'll need to configure that with a label node prefab. I'll need to let that recompile. I think Unity can recompile scripts while it's running, but it doesn't tend to handle it very well. So I should look into what circumstances it works well under, and to kind of wipe out your globals. Good to hear that you're doing great. Python APIs, cool. Yeah, I haven't done much with Python. I did work on, in one role, we had a Python code base as like one of the pieces of what I was working on, so I did a bit of it. I've also been considering giving Godot a go, especially since I have a game in mind that I think it would have a better development experience with, somewhat more smooth. And I've heard that its scripting language is similar to Python, but it can work with C#, so not sure. I'll have to take a look into it. Right. I must remember, put this here, and I'll grab my label node and put that in my label node prefab. And why don't I just quickly throw together a goto node as well. So what's that going to be? That's going to be very similar to a action node in its layout. We'll just have one in, one out. So I'll use an action node as the basis for that. Just move that over here. Call that a go-to node. Oh wait, no, one in, zero outs. Anyway, that's fine. Action node is, oh, cancel. Need to unpack. Excuse me. There we go. Okay, so this go-to node, essentially it'll have an input and then it'll go directly to whatever the label of the same letter or something is. So it will still need some text, but that's going to be more like, I should grab the text off the label to make it the same size. Input target, yes. Output connector, no. Delete that. And yeah, I'll just grab that label no text. Oh, that's not going to work properly unless I apply its overrides and just copy the text component and paste that into here. That is smaller. Probably because its transform is different. That's better. All right. Now I need to change this image. It's not the action, it should be node go to. Go. And what have we got here? Probably the sizing should be the same. I probably should have started with the label node, really, because it's like a label node that doesn't have a output and the thing's flipped around. Oh well. What do I want to copy here? The sizing for that. There we go. It also copied the position, but I should be able to just move that over there. Move this thing across to here or so. Bit more. There we are. And how's that text looking? Decent. Okay. That looks like the go-to node. Just apply its overrides. So, do we have any overrides to apply for any of the others? Good. So let's say that's go-to node done, but I'll just confirm. Maybe I'll try and make a threshold decision. Just grab the decision node, duplicate that. Just name it differently. Put it here. And change the text so we can tell it apart. Use hit points as the thing. Now, what exactly was I thinking with the threshold decision? It's got to have a threshold value. Oh, this one will have 3 outputs as well. So that'll be a difference. So I might just see if I can add a component. Oh, first of all, I better unpack the prefab, I'll remember. Turn it into a prefab. Also, I'll remember. And then let's see if I can check a input field. Slider, move slider. Let's do an input field for now. No, actually, I think a slider makes more sense here. Just because it's a something that might have a reasonable upper and lower bound, because this will be based on a sensor of some sort. And then I can put like another text actually. And this will be like the value that is selected by the slider. So for example, it's a reasonable amount of hit points. How many hit points do these robots have? Like 100? So let's say 50. None of that is coded yet, so it's not actually going to do anything, but that's fine. And this slider, probably, this will be done programmatically. I think we're going to, let's go from 0 to 100, left to right, and we'll set it at 50. And that'll probably do. Okay. Oh yeah, we need that other. So positive, negative, and threshold. Just duplicate that. Okay, so that's greater. Super above the threshold and below the threshold. Okay, now that threshold connector, put that like halfway in between here. So you just want to snap to right there. So let's do that. And I do want to move it maybe a little further out. And I also want its connection point in its thingy to be a certain place. Wait, are they all just am I controlling where these connect at the moment? I don't think so. Well, apply that. All right. Now, get this thing into threshold. Get the I just do? Let me put this here. I'm questioning whether I actually put the prefabs or just a game object in here. So I'll just drop all of these in the right place. They're all named the same, so there we are. I'm going to put this somewhere else. I'll grab the go-to in the label. I don't know why these are sorting alphabetically as children. I don't think I requested that. They don't quite fit, but that's okay. So we got start, decision, label. I've got prefabs for all now. So I'll just have this make all the types. Okay, we're going to start. That's just going to make action nodes for all the rest of them. How many more positions I've got? So then decision, I just need like a threshold. Okay. Great. So you recompile. Then I will set a few more positions. I need at least 6. 7 or 8 would be better. And then I can start in, well, 2 different options. I could start the representation of the actual routine graph, or I could just start writing the individual scripts for these different types of nodes that just control like where the connections are and that kind of thing. All right, so what have I got? -2, 1, 2, 1. Let's go 0, 1. 0, -1. 0, -2. Just move them a little away from each other. That should put them in at least slightly different positions. And then I'll have a few things to play with, plus all of these. This is still just coming from that library. I still haven't got around to trying to fix it. All right, so we've got a start here. There's an action. So let's say we want to do that action. And then, let's see. Oh, grabbed that slider by mistake. That number is not in any way hooked up to the slider, but that's okay because the slider's not hooked up to anything. That is still, that's interesting. That's completely the wrong size. Maybe I did not update the prefab from there properly. Anyway, let's say we're detecting if there's an enemy. Oh, geez. I've got to fix the dragging on the draggable icon. It's really got issues. And then if we've got an enemy, then maybe, so up means yes, we have an enemy. And down means we don't. And then these all say the same thing, but let's say that we're going to do different things. I'll just so do that first, and then ask that question and just spreading that out a bit. I can use this one. So if HP is, oh god, they are connected on different points. So how? I think I didn't see the bit of that prefab where I was doing that. Anyway, so this, this might be, so we see an enemy, if our HP is like less than 50, then we might block, so that might be block. Or if it's greater than 50, we might have it fire lasers a few times or something. And if it's exactly 50, then maybe we do that as well. But you can't really see that because it should be connected in the middle there. I just haven't done that yet. And then maybe after that, we just go to label A. And here's label A. I haven't plugged that in anywhere. So maybe that happens here. So initially we want to walk, but then after that, come here. After that, we'll label this routine. And if we didn't find an enemy, then what do we do? That might be actually, I could take a step forward. Or if it wasn't connected to anything, it would just go back to start automatically. And I can maybe put a representation of that on there. But maybe we do this action and then loop the routine back around to A. So that's kind of how it could work. And we can make it more cautious by having a higher threshold for anywhere below there. It's going to be do the cautious behavior, or make it reckless. Just be like, yeah, if you've got, as long as you've got a little bit of health, do whatever that is. But it all says walk right now. I need to have it say different things, or it'll be icons eventually. But different things depending on what action it represents. And so I'd probably need something. This is the old routine editor here. So you just drag an action. It actually comes out of there and then snaps back into there. And this draggable icon code is really, really messed up. I need to fix that, just the positioning of it. Because it's trying to do an offset and it's not working very well. I'm going to get rid of that offset just real quick here. Draggable icon. I've got this. Oh, I temporarily put some stuff in here that needs to come out of here as well. But basically this offset thingy, that's not working well. It was an attempt to do something, but it's just not working. I think I might have fixed it in here, but then I realized it still had problems because there was lag. Like, it wasn't grabbing in the right position. Oh, did I fix that with there? Yes. But let's see, on drag. Did I fix those up? No, there we go. Got connection position. So 0.25, negative 0.25. So on my, I think the go-to node, I need to, there are no overrides to apply. Yeah, sure. because that one looked weird. Yeah, that's not right. The problem is I think it doesn't consider the transform to be like a thing, an override thing. So I'm going to copy that component, open that, and paste the component values into there. And now everything's over here instead, which is fine. But you can see that's the right size. And I'll just set its position to 0, 0 because what need has a prefab got for a different position? It should just be going wherever. I don't know if it actually does anything because it's always kind of, well, maybe if you don't specify any position, it might make a difference. But that's good because it means all of the bits underneath have their position based on 0, 0, which is nice. I don't know if this is needed at all. This is just fun. Well, yeah, it's a type of fun. Making things orderly, bringing order to the world. This is what separates us from. No, this is not what separates us from the animals. Animals just bring their own order in their own way. Okay. Now we've got these connectors. So we've got the above connecting at 0.25, the below connecting at negative 0.25. So this one should be connecting at 0. There we go. That should get that fixed. Both the size of the go-to and the connector position of the threshold. Okay. So let's just build a routine again, maybe a different one this time. Hey, Biff Baff. Oh, I see. Best viewers, hey? I think there's this button for that now. There we go. I've already got the best viewer right here. So let's see. I think let's go straight in and go, look. If now HP's below that, then we're in emergency mode. So we need to just do whatever the emergency thing is. And who knows what that is? Maybe that's just block forever. Oh, that's a go-to. Sorry, we need a label. So do that label. Then block. And then repeat. There, infinite loop. And otherwise, we'll base our behavior on whether there's an enemy. There we go. So now you can kind of see that those are separate. I do need to separate out when there are multiple connections onto something. Then just positioning them in different positions so that you can grab. At the moment, I can only grab like that top one if both are plugged in, I think. Yeah, so I have to like unplug that, and plug that in to grab that one, which is no good. So it'd be better if they were just next to each other or something like that. Which I'm sure there's a way to do, a way to get that set up. And these things need to look different when they're plugged in versus when they're not, because maybe like, if an enemy is detected, then go panic. Otherwise, just do your thing, whatever your thing is. Maybe it's this. And that would just get back to start automatically. So if your HP is low, then panic forever. If you see an enemy, panic forever. Otherwise, just go live your life. That's what that routine is. Now then, is there tea left? There is. What do these need? I guess these are going to need to have a way, when you make and break these connections, it will need a way to update the underlying representation of the routine graph. But I think I won't get started on that right now. I've only got 12 minutes left according to that timer. So you can't see it, it's a physical timer. Like this. There it is. Ooh, you can see my secrets reflected in the screen of it. Okay. So, yeah, make scripts for these, and I also need a generic way. So yeah, I've done some UI. I think there we go. So I've made the basic types now. Need to get some behavior for them. And no, that's not wrong. No, it's just apparently set on US English. Why? I've never set my system to that, so that's on you. Whoever made either the operating system or the browser, or the software. Actually, if this, you can have a web page that says what the language shown on the page is, and if you do that, it might. I don't know if that would affect the spell checking actually. Right then. So I've got routine graph here. Okay, I might just keep things organized here. So let's get a folder for the node prefabs. So we got action, decision, go to label, start and threshold, all in there. And create another folder here for node scripts. Should rename that one to a space like that one. Otherwise, they won't be the same. Okay. Yeah, so this is like not specific nodes. There's the manager and there's the bits of the nodes. But now let's just make a new script. And this will be for threshold decision node there. Now, ultimately, I guess the spider will inherit from the same thing or implement the same interface so that they can be interacted with by other components in the same way. Okay, so what are we going to do here? We're talking about a threshold node. So it's going to need to have some stuff here. So yeah, good idea. Suggesty thingy. Serialized field. And I just want to hook up the threshold slider. So that should be some kind of slider, I guess. The engine.ui slider, I believe that is. That'll be our threshold slider. We need the text. That's a text mesh pro GUI. And instead of naming it that, text mesh pro GUI, we'll call that value text. And a lot of these are going to have a label actually, so probably make that this could be like a label or icon. But I might just go with text for a while because that's quicker to get working. Especially once I'm creating a whole bunch of different actions, different sensors, then yeah, they just all have a text label. And I think everything has a text label. The start node has one, but it'll never change. But I think everything else does have a text label. So it makes sense to make a base class here. I think I already have something called graph node coming from somewhere else, so I won't call it that. I'm going to call it a routine node UI. And that'll be a mono behavior. And it's just going to have that in there for now. So then this can be one of those. Let's call it threshold node UI, yeah, because we're just doing UI controlling things here. Oops. So I might just move this to its own file. Let's go with that. And this might do more than just that. I'll sort that out later. Okay, then back to this threshold node. And if I were to rename that to threshold node UI properly, then let's see if that actually changes the file name there. It hasn't shown up down here, but Unity's busy, so. All right, Right, so I think on start. Hello. Busy there. No, we don't need that keyword there. Actually, I think on start, like I need to do these things, but really that's just update display value. Or maybe update value display. Let's make a method called that, and it's going to do these things. And what's that going to be based on? It's going to be based on our current value. For convenience, I'll make that a serialized field for now. Is this going to be an int or a float? Let's do an integer. Then I might make it variant on this, or make it generic to take different types. What's this? Why have we got system in here? Okay. Should be 0 by default, but whatever. I mean, I'll probably, so, min value, max value, and current value. There we go. I guess even if we've got floating point numbers, unless it's between 0 and 1, we probably want to use integers for the slider. Okay, min value. So we've got min and max of slider, and there we go. So we've got those numbers in there, and the text. Yeah, so just a string of that. And also, what are we going to do when that slider updates? What do we do here? Ah, there we go. One value changed here. That timer means it's about time to finish up. Yeah, I think I need to add a thing onto that. Wow, really old documentation. Min slider on value changed. Dot add listener. Delegate value change check. Okay, seems fine. I'll do something like that. I will be creative later, some other time. Basically just need update that value. Can I set a slider to be just integers? Oh, I'll rearrange that another time. Left to right, whole numbers. Oh, is that not getting the overrides because I moved them? Oh, that's fine. I'll sort that out later. Okay, so I'll just round that to an int. And that should be fine. But we'll make a property here. Call it threshold value. Now, I don't need that. Current value equals value and I probably don't want like this. No. and initialize our value display. That's when we'll set our min and max there. And we'll also display value as part of that. And then that means this can happen here. There. And then that way that will just update the current value in the slider. Although it's really like when I've changed that. I guess let's just assume the slider is going to be responsible for changing it, its own value. So it's really just the text that we need to update. That looks a bit organized. And I'll just rename that to threshold value. Oh, and just thought of something useful to do with that routine node UI with that text label. I could actually just put a there we go, and then in start, you stop automatically put stuff there for me. I would pretty much just want to say label text dot text equals label, yeah, like that. So now that'll set that label. This wouldn't be on start probably. In an ideal world, it would just be, well, no, ideal world, just in the future, I'll make that be when, well, maybe it will be on start because it'll kind of be set when the thing's created. I'll figure it out when I'm working on that. Okay, so now I've got this threshold node. It's going to pick up whatever label it was given. So we've got it's here that we need to hook up. So min, max, and so on. So all of this stuff will come from the whatever it's looking at the threshold for, which could be value from a sensor that has a thing like a range sensor or so on. Or yeah, or something like hit points, or I don't know what else. I haven't really looked at that. Could be time alive. So behaving this way up until you've been alive for whatever. If you survive for 30 seconds, then change behavior. That possibly will be displaying the value. So let me get that working. So we'll need to you are not acting like a prefab. There we go. So it does know that it's connected to that. Oh, did I not have the right thing selected? have that. What we don't have is a script. Put that right up there because it's the most specific. This one's label is going to be, let's see, hit points. Oh, yeah, wire up. It's text and value text. This one's going to be its label. Threshold slider. Right there. Value text. Yes. And between 0 and 100. And we'll set the threshold value at 55. Just have something other than 50 so we can see it change. So that should be fine there. And just apply all of that. And then I'll go in and change this to be here because then these three are applying in the same order. And I'm going to rename this one just to be consistent. Oh, it's not consistent because it's not starting with a capital. Okay. So let's see what happens when we run that. Well, it's time for me to wrap up. So thank you so much for watching. I will see this thing working before I end the stream, but not much else. So yes, that's set to 55 and the slider looks like it's a little bit across. Nothing is changing there. So that's broken. Are we getting anything on the console? Other than a really laggy movement. So that definitely does not seem to be properly working with that value change check, which I'm pretty sure was just like literally exactly off the documentation, but it was old documentation. So let's see what this discussion has here. Annunciation, is it the username? Yes, Annunciation asked back in 2017. I could not get the onValue changed function on the slider to pass its changed value to a function. It will only ever send the value that is displayed in the input field. The manual says that it is supposed to send its changed value as an argument to the function, but it's not doing that for me. Make sure you select a dynamic float from the onValue change drop-down list in the inspector. This doesn't seem to help me at all. Yes, those look good. Oh, is that onValue changed just not for at runtime? No fix found. Updated Unity to the newest version. Okay. think this is actually a Unity bug. Yeah. While in play mode, I can also toggle the event to off, then back to runtime. Any change to the slider while in play mode, even just changing the normal color, is enough to kick the slider into working. Project settings, editor, enter play mode settings. Any change in the slider while in play mode, even just changing the normal color is enough to kick the slider into working. So does this mean I got to mess with something before it's going to work? Is there another way to interact with it? Let's see if is that the only thing that I can be using? Well, I don't look at this one yet. Should just work. Enter play mode options. Yeah, same thing again. There. Is that something that can fix this? Still not getting the event. Just go into this. All right. Label text. Shot slider. That's the same one, isn't it? I'll put 75 there, so that'll be easier to see. I should put that as hit points to make sure that it's updating that label. Okay, so that's definitely set to 75 there. So someone said changing anything in the slider. Makes it start to work. Doesn't seem to. I might actually use this runtime only. We can say it'll be that threshold node UI. How you change, so I can basically wire it up like that instead of doing anything here. Which is probably what I should have done in the first place. Oops. Let's get all that applied on the prefab. Then run it and see how we look here. Nope, no change. There's the slider in here, right? That's really weird that it doesn't seem to be doing anything when I set it. It should be setting that and then saying to display it, which set that to that. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Nothing was wrong with that. I just wasn't using my property properly. Setting it. Yeah. And I should probably just use that property everywhere. except in here. Yeah, that is a ridiculous change. That's a circular reference that will lead to crashing. Yeah, so the problem was I wasn't actually calling the property. I was setting it via the int, so I wasn't doing anything. Instead of setting it via the property, which would call the setter, which actually calls display value. So this was updating. This was never being called. Or this was never being called, so it was never actually setting that text on there. So there you go. All right. So let's see that working. There we are, yes. We're now hit points below 31. This is equals 31. That's above 31. That's below 31. Plug. 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 It's exactly 31. Then do a dance. I don't know. Cool. Okay, well, that's going to conclude this stream. I went a bit over fixing that issue. Let's make sure everything's all saved here and here. There we go. And that'll do. I've been David from PhotoPixel. I'll be back in, what, a few days, I guess. Exactly a few days to do some more of this. Getting closer to having that working. The whole new routine editor. That'll be really good when I can release with that. All right. Bye-bye for now.